Thank you so much for joining us today for the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. Here on the Pastor's Potluck, it's similar to a normal potluck where you might get something that you want and there may be something that you just want to pass up altogether. And that's okay. There's something here for everybody. Our goal here is to encourage you and maybe in the process entertain you. If you're ready, let's dig in. Well, hello. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Pastor's Potluck. I don't know what it is about this specific episode, but like whenever we talked about this in our service planning this week, I was like, I'm really excited about this one. I don't know why. I mean, I've liked all of them, but this one, it just, I think I'm excited for you.
Right.
I think I'm
seem more excited for me than I am.
I also just had a handful of like these Nerds gummies. So I'm like I've got like
that
a little sugar kick. So,
but no, I think it's because, well, maybe you're excited looking ahead to the future for when you get to do this. But I think it's just what it means for us as pastors. So
yeah,
probably.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, if you didn't read the description, we are going to be talking everything sabbatical, and what that looks like, what it means. We're going to define it. We're going to kind of take it apart and kind of shed some light into what a sabbatical looks like for us as staff pastors, or just pastors in general. It's one of those things that's very, very biblical. But first off, let's just define it. What is a sabbatical, Pastor Cheryl?
Well, a sabbatical is really just typically paid time, paid leave from work to take a break from work to rest or train or, recharge, those kind of things. And so a lot of times people will take time, off work to go study something, to do some kind of specific training or whatever. But it's just kind of a break from the normal, day-to-day stuff to be able to like pour back into yourself, really, because a lot of people don't understand, like, as pastors that, we're here, like, our roles are a little bit different than like Pastor Scott's, where he's preaching twice every Sunday. Like, he doesn't get to sit back and get poured into. Like, we have to find other ways that we get poured into. Like, so we're watching stuff and reading stuff throughout the week, but it's still not the same as like being able to just come on a typical Sunday like other people do and get poured into. And so like you pour out a ton between Sundays, but not just Sundays, but throughout the week, like with the people that you meet with, the people you counsel or pray for, and all of that can kind of weigh heavily on you. And so it's a good practice to be able to take that time away from it all, because really, like, a lot of other places you work, like, you get to leave work at work, or, you may have a big project that's going on that you might think about for a little while, but like you're not constantly open and available for people like you are as a pastor. And so you kind of feel like you have to be on all the time, and there's no break from that. And so a sabbatical is a total break from that, where you get to just go rest, recharge, study on your own, fill yourself back up. Yeah.
I think that one of the things that it shocked me the most, like whenever I was getting into ministry, was how, it's a 24/7 job. It really is. And if you're trying to lead people and encourage them in their growth with their relationship with the Lord, it literally is a 24 hour, 7 days a week job. And then on top of that, not even to mention all the stuff that we do week in and week out, but it's also the stuff that's littered in through those weeks that catch us off guard, sicknesses, deaths, major life events. It could be a birth of a child. Shout out to Tyler and Molly. They're hopefully going to have a baby soon, but it's like all those things that, and then you're trying to, okay, I've got all this other things. I've got all these people that I'm trying to minister to, show them love, show them appreciation, meet their needs, whatever it is. And then I've got a wife and I've got 3 kids.
Right.
that I'm trying to mix in the middle of this. And sometimes Erica or my 3 kids get Pastor Jared. Sometimes, more times than not, they get dad and husband. But sometimes they get Pastor Jared. And then sometimes those lines kind of get blurred. And I say all that to say that it literally is like so much going on, so much giving, so much taking, that it does begin to weigh on you a little bit. And it's important to be able to take those little moments of rest. But whenever you've been doing it for us, we have a clause here in our, whenever we get hired on, that we get to take a sabbatical every 7 years. And that's for a period of time of 6 weeks. 5 weeks.
I'm taking an extra week of vacation along with mine to make it 6, but.
Oh yeah.
So you can add on your vacation time to it, but yeah, so I'm out for 6 weeks because I've actually been here 9 years, but at 7 years I was having Anakin and COVID happened. So that was just craziness. Not really a great time to take a sabbatical probably. So, so now I'm at 9 years, and when we were reviewing them was it when Pastor Jess came on? Yeah, we were reviewing all the employee handbook stuff, and I was like, wait, I need to take my sabbatical. And so yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, you don't want to go wait another 7 years, and then what do you take 10 weeks off at that point?
Yeah, I guess maybe I could, but
it's not healthy. It's not recommended, and it's not healthy.
No, not at all. But
so, and one of the major, like you kind of talked a little bit about this, but one of the major purposes of sabbaticals is rest. And you kind of said you can take these things, you can spend this whole time resting, you can recharge. I think everything that you said above is important to try to squeeze in that time. For you, what are you doing during your sabbatical? That way you do get your rest, you do get your recharge, you do get your refocus. And what are the things that you are the steps that you are taking to make sure that that you meet those criteria? So
we are starting my sabbatical with 2 weeks at the beach, because I knew I needed to start with that rest portion and a total disconnect, or else because they say, some places will give you even 3 months sabbatical, because they say that a lot of times it takes you almost a whole month to get out of the work mindset completely to where you can actually feel rested. And so, so for me, I knew with this short amount of time, I was like, I have to start with that, because I'm not always great at rest. I like to go and do things and whatever, and be busy. And so I knew I had to start there. And so we're taking 2 weeks at the beach, and we'll be down there with family. I'll be completely off, social media. Actually, my phone will probably be in airplane mode most of the time. I've told people that are my friends or family that I care about, I'm like, if you need to get a hold of me for something unwork related, just to check in on me, or you want to hang out or whatever, you have to go through Anthony. And so he can kind of be, and he don't
even respond to his phone,
which means that I won't ever hear anything unless it's something really serious. But because he really isn't great at being attached to his phone. He's attached to technology all day for work, and so the last thing he really wants to do is really, have to be on. And he's kind of, he's actually pretty introverted. And so a lot of people don't think that about him, but anyway, so he doesn't always like to mess with his phone, or he'll have his phone, but he just has all his notifications off. So, we'll see how this goes. But
so you got 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks at the beach. That's exciting. I'm actually kind of low key jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
We've never taken 2 weeks, so I'm really excited about
I've never done anything for 2 weeks. Except for work.
Well, we had joked and talked about doing a month, because we were like, Anthony can work from anywhere. He just needs internet. And so we had talked about that, but I was like, I don't think I can handle 4 weeks with my kids at the beach.
Dude, there'd be sand everywhere.
Every single day. I mean, it would just, because
you'd come back looking like your shirt.
Yeah.
Just toasted.
Yeah, I would. I said earlier, I was like, man, I actually will probably get a tan this summer. I don't normally get to be out in the sun much between just work and whatever. And so I'm actually really excited that people might actually see that I'm not like ghostly white all the time. But anyway, so we're gonna start there. We have a pool membership, so I'll be at the pool a lot. But after those 2 weeks, we may go see some other friends while we're already down south. But once we get back from that trip, then the plan is for the kids to continue with their summer care and allow me some time kid free, because I don't usually, like, if I'm not working, I'm with the kids. And so give myself some time to myself to, go relax at the pool or read some book. Like, I've got quite a few books that I've purchased and haven't gotten to on my Kindle. So I'll be reading through some of those. But really the majority of the time that I plan on doing is just spending a lot of time really in my Bible, like, without trying to sound too over spiritual, but really the focus will be studying the word, praying, journaling. I don't get the opportunity to do that much with the kids and everything else. And so having the opportunity to make time every day and just do some of those things to really seek what vision God has for some of the things here, like to just start with a clean slate and be like, God, what do you want? Like for when I go back, like, what's your goal for me for this next season of ministry, for, the other ministries that I lead here at Southridge, and just not trying to think too much about work, but just allowing time and space for God to speak vision into me that I can then put down and have that for when I do come back. And so a lot of study and reading. I don't have like any conference things or anything like that I'm going to be doing. But mainly just reading some books and taking some time for that during the rest of the time. I may take like a couple days, like 24 or 48 hour retreat, just myself, like, to completely disconnect from kids, spouse, everything, and just have that solitude time with God. I may do something like that in there. But it's more unplanned than any other thing that I would typically do. So
well, and one of the things, sorry, my allergies are killing me, and I'm just like rubbing up my eyes and everything. My nose is going nuts. But one of the things that I've done a little bit of studying on it, and it's just being super intentional about everything that you have planned. And so, like, you're being super intentional about rest. Spending, even though you've got your kids, you're spending 2 weeks at the beach, and that is a form of rest where it's just like, hey, you've got me for the next 168 hours for this week, 168 hours for next week. I couldn't add the two quick enough in my head, but you got me for the next 2 weeks. I want to work on the relationship with my kids, just strengthen that bond that's already there. It's already strong, but continue to strengthen it. But then also enjoy that time, because I love going to the beach. And then you've also mentioned just being super intentional about just working on you as well, allowing that time to where you do have moments where you're kid free, to where you are opening up a book, a Bible, journaling. And I think one of the things that would be really cool, and it's maybe a challenge for you, is maybe this whole time is, you said, you want to journal all these things. Do that every single day. Yeah. I know it's difficult to get anything done, especially if you've got like little creatives, that want to color and draw.
Yes, that's why I have had to be very careful, because the last time that I tried to start journaling, Esme got a hold of 2 different notebooks and wrote on every single page. Yeah. And so, I've got to be very careful about where I put those things, but being home consistently and not trying to take it like back and forth to work, or, because if I say I'm going to do something at 10 o'clock during the day and I have to bring it to work with me to do it at 10 o'clock while I'm here.
Yeah.
Like that gets too much for me. So being able to just have it consistently with me will very much help, because I used to journal every day.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like just even journaling like a scripture and a prayer, like, you know, even something like that, or just a couple sentences about something that, you know, I felt like God spoke to me that day, like whatever, but just putting that down. And it was really cool to be able to go back and see those things later on. And so it's a discipline that I have missed that I want to really get back into. And so I'll take that challenge.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it would just be really cool, like, and put it in your calendar to that way you get like an alarm. And so like, but in a year from now,
right.
So you can go back and you can say, God, you taught you look, you said you gave me all this good stuff, and like, look how like we've implemented it. And then you journal about that and you go, man, you took these expectations that I had in my mind and completely blew them out of the water. Yeah. And I think it's just a great way just to be super thankful of what the Lord does, because I mean, we try so hard to do things like with our own merit and our own talents and stuff. And like if I had to do it all the time, it just falls flat. Oh, yeah. Like if Jared tries to do something or if Cheryl tries to do something, but whenever God blesses something like that, then it like he multiplies it.
Yes.
So I think that I don't know if that would be something that you would be willing to share, and I hate to put you on the spot. No. Like, but just like maybe like whenever we're doing this podcast in a year from now, and we could do like a follow up or something.
Yeah. No, I think that would be really cool.
Put it in the calendar.
Yes.
So while you're down there at the beach, are you going to try to go to like any church services, or maybe during your sabbatical, are you going to try to go and check out any churches or anything? So
we will still, that first Sunday we're there, we may just watch here online, depending on how tired we are from the drive down.
And we're introducing Esme's favorite song.
I know. Yes. So there is a song by Elevation called Same God, and my sweet little Esme, 4-year-old, who joined us the last time we did this for a second, she loves that song and she sings it out super loud. Of course, Carter was singing it loud today too, but not the last time, but one day when we got home, she said, when I was getting her out, she said, Mommy, when I hear this song, it makes me feel like Jesus is near.
Oh, gosh.
And it was just the sweetest thing. And I'm like, yes, I understand that he is near. But
it's like whenever she has her days, like, you know, because like all kids have their days. You're like, hey, why don't you sing Same God? Because we need Jesus near right about now.
We almost had that this morning. Gosh. But yeah, so we may watch online for that week, but most weeks, like even when we're out of town, we always find a church and go to church somewhere, like to visit. Because I think it's cool to visit other churches too, just to see what they're doing, but also just it's being able to go and worship corporately with other people in person and not be on and thinking about like all the things and that you're needing to do. And plus, like we have a very high feedback culture here. And so we're not just experiencing the service for our own fulfillment or worship or, you know, whatever. We are also watching it with kind of a critique, like in our mind as well. Like looking for those things that we could do better, looking for those things that went really well. And so we're not just like listening here, you know, to like hear the message from God.
Or creating content for our Extra Point podcast.
Yes, exactly. And so like, cause that's one of my things that reminds me every Sunday is like to take notes during the service to remind myself, hey, you need to be listening and see like where in here as he's preaching, should we go a little bit deeper for the extra point, or what in this, you know, maybe needs elaborated on, or like what was really good that maybe hit home for people that we should remind people about. Like, so we're thinking about all those things when we're here. Yeah. And so it's just really nice to be able to go and visit somewhere else where you're not doing all that, where you can just go and worship. You don't have a job. You don't have a role to play. other than coming and bringing your worship and being present in that moment. And so I know we plan on the trip back to stop by Elevation because we'll drive right through there. So we'll probably spend a night in Charlotte and and go there to one of their campuses. And then we will, for the rest of the time that we're back home, we're probably going to go visit some other churches around our area. Or I know that there's another Church of God in Beckley and things like that, Cross Point. So we may go up there one weekend and just make a fun day up in that area and just do different things like that. But we do plan on going to visit other churches. We will not be here at Southridge because you know as well as I do that if you walk in this building, like people will ask you
immediately
things work related. Like you won't.
Hey, do you know where this is?
Work. Exactly.
I need this. Can you help me out? Which is fine. I mean, that's like part of, but if you came in, it would just, and you would immediately just our natural instincts. Like whenever we come into the building, the first place we go is to our office, offload keys and for you purse and whatever. And then we sit down and open it up and then it's like check emails. Okay. What do I got the rest of this week? What's scheduled in Asana, for our scheduling app, for all of our different tasks and everything else. And are you going to take any time just for you and Anthony to be able to do something?
Possibly. We're going to try to get the grandparents to watch the kids for a little bit, but we haven't. Let's see. We have there's like one, well, she's in college now, that has stayed with our kids at our house a couple different times, but we don't often get to take like much time other than like a weekend, like a Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. Because typically like the grandparents just aren't super confident in keeping 3 kids for too long.
And it's not just 3 kids. Right. It's 3 Energizer bunnies. I mean, they're at that age to where they're all mobile. They're all vocal. They're always hungry.
I mean, Esme last night just kept going, I want to do something fun. Mom, I want to do something fun. And I'm like, well, color. And she's like, okay. And then she wants you to be in there coloring with her, or then it's not fun anymore and she wants to do something else fun. And I'm like, what do you want to do? So so it's a lot, and I understand it's a lot. So we're going to try to figure out what we can fit in there. That is the hope, to at least take a couple days for us. But we also are trying to see if we don't get to do it during the sabbatical to plan for our anniversary in September. So, so we'll see. Hopefully we can do both. But.
Now, if someone maybe in ministry that's listening to this and they have a sabbatical coming up, what are some things that they should not do? I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about it, don't show up to the church you work at.
Right.
I honestly think, if that were to happen, if you showed up, Scott would be really mad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody would kick me out.
I would.
I would. Like, get out of here.
I'm like, you're fired for 6 weeks. We're rehiring you at the end of this. Don't come back.
I know. Well, that's what it was funny because I said one day because
I don't have the power to fire anybody, guys. So just I need to preface that. I just sing around here, so.
So we qualify for, there was some relief funds during COVID that came about to help those essential workers and other people to go back to work to provide childcare for certain critical care sites. Because not every daycare was able to open back up, but some were approved as critical care sites, and ours was one of them. And so we still have this funding available that we qualified for. And I was struggling because initially I chose, this time partially because we were like, if that funding is not available, we don't want to have to pay for the kids' summer care, all 3 kids.
Yeah.
And so I could be home with them that whole time. We wouldn't have to pay for it. And we would only have a couple weeks where they would be at work with me before school started. But anyway, we still have that funding. So I was really struggling with, well, do we still send them? And Anthony had to remind me, this is your job over the summer. This is part of your job, and you are told that you have to do this and take rest and time for yourself, it is okay to send them. This is your work. Yeah. Your work is rest right now. And I had to get that through my head because I was struggling with it. But so yeah, definitely don't show up at the church that you work at. Find another church to go to.
Don't communicate with the people you work with. Yeah,
don't communicate. Like if you have, for instance, we communicate through Slack. If you don't want to go airplane mode on your phone all time, like the whole time, I would highly suggest you log out of all those social media apps or messaging apps. We use Asana for task assignments. Sign out of that. Or delete the apps off your phone altogether. If you think that you're going to be like tempted to go and log in, it's a lot harder to re-download an app and then log in and whatever. So whatever you have to do to be totally disconnected from all that, because I'm friends with all of you all on social media. Yeah. I would see all those things and all those posts and all that stuff, and it would keep me in that work mindset. And so I plan to take all those things off my phone. I plan, whatever. So like definitely like most people, because another pastor friend who used to be here, who hired me, actually, he's on sabbatical right now. And like, he made the post, hey, I'm going to be on sabbatical. So I'm taking a break from social media. Like if you're going to miss my daily verses, like you can go and follow, this and, whatever. And so make sure that you're fully disconnecting from all of that as well. Yeah. Because it will get you back into that work mindset. As much as you try not to, it will. And like, I at least know that for myself. Maybe you're different, but don't do that. Like find another church and go there. Like don't not go to church, but find another church. And a lot of times there's another local church. Like if they know that you're on sabbatical too, like they'll give you special treatment, or they'll do something like some larger churches have resource, stores.
They'll give you some books and
they'll
stuff,
give you like they'll give you gifts and things like that, because like pastors and churches know that that's an important time for you, and they want to help like give you what you need during that time. And so find some places to go and do those things, but don't connect in any way with work related stuff. Like set up the automated response on your email, even like that, you're out of the office for the next 6 weeks for sabbatical or whatever. So that way, if somebody does contact you with something, like they know to contact somebody else. And, so don't be tied into your email either. It's really just all about disconnecting in those ways, and don't try to put too much on yourself, like either, to where, because I could say, oh, I'm going to completely like clean my house top to bottom and do like
and I'm gonna read
all
12
these crazy
books
things, and I'm going to clean out all the closets, and I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like I could say all that, but then that's like stressful. Yeah. Like I need to get all this stuff done. And then if you don't get it all done, then you feel like you failed at the end of it. And like, that's not what your sabbatical is supposed to be about.
Are you going to use the sabbatical card?
Possibly, probably.
Like, hey, look at Anthony and look at the big pile of dishes or laundry and just be like, sabbatical, I'm not doing this. I'm supposed to not be stressing out over things and using the sabbatical card.
Oh, man. There might be some days that I do, but no, I mean, I will probably do some of that.
I know, I'm
organizing.
teasing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make people laugh.
But there will probably be some days where I'm like, sorry, babe, I'm going to the pool. You have fun working from home. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
But so there will probably be some of those days, but like I am excited to also be able to catch up on some of those things. Like I don't have a huge goal of crazy organizing and whatever, but it would be cool to be able to catch up on laundry. So,
no joke. Well, it's never ending.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you go through like the whole, you can do it, knock it all out in a weekend. Mm-hmm. And by like the next week, because you just don't do anything because you killed yourself over the weekend doing laundry. By the next weekend, you're like, where'd this Mount Rushmore of laundry come from?
Like I miss those days when it was just the two of us with our own laundry. Like when you add multiple kids in the mix, you know what I mean? It's just like, why do we have so many things? Like,
well, it's so hard to flip like little kid pants inside out, like right side out, like because whenever they take them off, like they get, and so they're flipped inside out.
I don't flip them right side out.
Oh yeah, y'all are absolutely y'all are insane people.
Listen, a lot of laundry will tell you to wash inside out. A lot of things do say that. Lots of shirts, lots of things will tell you to wash them inside out.
Yeah, but y'all don't do it for those reasons.
Nope.
Y'all
but that's okay. That's my excuse to be okay with it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Listen, but yeah, little kid laundry is not the funnest, and it's also hard to fold. Like, I mean, baby stuff, like and whatever.
Folding
it's
like Barbie
why,
clothes.
Yeah, it's why am I doing this? But so we like, and I have this tension because right now, like the kids each have their stuff in a basket, like their clean stuff gets put in a basket, and we just pull out from there. Because we just have been in one of those busy seasons, but we all had the flu, and then we had a stomach virus and whatever, and stuff got piled up then, and it was like, you know what, like we'll have time to get to this, so everything's in a basket, and I'm okay with that some of the time, because if it is all put away how I normally would put it away for Esme, she will change 5 times a day.
Oh, I know.
Sometimes 5 times in an hour. Like,
it's the worst. Or if she's trying to find something like one of her favorite shirts and it's at the bottom of like the drawer.
Well, I do their stuff that what's that name of the chick that did like the
Marie Kondo?
Yes, where the things like stand up in the drawer, so that way they can see it all and choose that way. So I don't have to deal with that as much, but she will just decide she wants to change, or she gets hot, so she takes off her clothes, and then she thinks she needs to go get more clothes, and I'm like, when she gets cold again, and I'm like, no, put that stuff back on. And so I have this like tension and this love-hate relationship with it, because I love to go ahead and like put their outfits together and have it in the drawer to where they can just like look and grab an outfit out and it's all ready to go. And that's how I pack for vacation too. Like last year we did the Ziploc bags trick, where like you put the whole outfit, underwear, socks, everything in a bag, and you squeeze all the air out so it makes it nice and tight, but also they just have to pull a bag out for the day. And they put their dirty clothes back in, or like into the bag, or well, we were in a place with washer and dryer, so we washed them all before we came back. But
that's too much work.
What? To wash clothes while you're...
No, put stuff in a Ziploc bag.
It was amazing.
It's a waste of bags.
We had one suitcase for all 5 of us. It was amazing.
Well, your kids are tiny.
Yeah.
And you're tiny too. So it's like packing for like 4 kids. This is a running joke. I'm always picking on Cheryl because she's short. So. But
no, like, I mean, it was nice because we didn't have to guess. Like, they could just grab a bag and anything was approved, and like they didn't pull out all the things everywhere. So it was worth it to me to not have that stress and mess while we were down there. But so
what day do you leave for your sabbatical? What's the last day of the office that you're in before you like delete everything on your phone?
The 9th.
The 9th.
So like that's the last work day. Of course, it's VBS, the last day of VBS. So I'll be here for that, and then I'll probably still leave my stuff up on Friday, but Saturday we leave to go to the beach, and so I will be logged out.
I'm gonna assign you so many different things in Asana, like that last night. You're gonna be like, "What the heck, Jared?"
Nope. I'm gonna be like, reassign.
No, I'll probably send you an assignment that just says like, get some rest. Like pretty awesome, like pretty good stuff. Well, I'm excited for you. Like I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for you and your family as well. Mm-hmm. I'll be praying for y'all that y'all first off get tons of rest. You know, strengthen the already strong relationships that you have between you and your kids, and especially you and Anthony. And that y'all just like get back to just almost kind of like getting back to everything, you know, like it's like, you know, I know your relationship's good, but it's like, you know, whenever you strip everything else away and then you can be intentional about your relationship and your marriage. It's just almost kind of like a rekindling almost. It's like, you know, it's adding fuel to the fire, I should say. But I'm excited for y'all. I think that y'all are going to have a wonderful time at the beach. If y'all go to any of those big churches, give me a t-shirt. I'm just joking.
What size?
Don't give me. I wear a large.
Okay.
Give me. I want a shirt with Stephen Furtick's face, just like right on the front of it. So awesome. Well, I know that you've been looking forward to the mystery meat.
I am excited for that
mystery meat segment. For those of you who don't know, we have a whole bunch of random questions and topics that go into this jar, and it's just like a potluck.
If it's song related, put it back.
If it's song related, I will put it back.
I am terrible at song.
You're gonna be like that one that just goes doot doot loot doot.
Baby Shark?
No. All right, let's see if it's song related. Oh, okay. This is not song related, but this is.
If it's name related, I might be bad too.
No, it's not. It's not like any pop culture reference or anything like that, but it says, what's your favorite smell?
Ooh, my favorite smell.
This is going to be a two-parter because I'm going to ask, what's your least favorite smell?
Oh, favorite smell.
And I guess there's like, if you have to put it in context, like, okay, I like this type of smell for this, but I like this type of smell for this, then that understand, because you can't just pick it. It's like picking a favorite type of food. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like all food for me is pretty good, except for like balut. Do you know what balut is? It's a Middle Eastern. I bet you your husband hasn't eaten that. He can add that to that list of things he hasn't eaten. But it's a fertilized egg, like duck egg.
Oh.
And it's got the embryo in it, and it's already got feathers on it, and then they pickle it. It's gross.
I mean, you said feathers. That's bad.
Dude, people eat it. It's called balut. B-A-L-U-T is what it is.
I'll make sure to stay away from that.
Yeah, that probably smells pretty bad.
Probably. Let's see. Favorite smell. I really like the smell of like eucalyptus.
Dude, that's the panda in you coming out. No, it smells pretty good.
Spirit animal. No, it's just a clean, like, I don't know. It's just a nice, refreshing smell.
It is.
And so I really like that scent a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I find a candle that's like eucalyptus and mint or something, like I always want to buy it. But, and I even like the Bath and Body Works had the aromatherapy stuff. They have one that's like eucalyptus and something.
I know, but that stuff's expensive too.
It is, but like I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's.
So really overall would probably be like that eucalyptus smell.
Yeah.
Now, what is your favorite smelling food? Like you smell it and you're like, dang it, I've got to get this. I think like for me, it's like ballpark food. Like if you go to like a professional sporting event and then you smell like you smell the nachos, you smell the hot dogs, you smell like the funnel cakes.
All I smell is fryer oil when I go to those places. Like I can't, but maybe that's because I've worked in restaurants and that fryer oil, I just can't.
Yeah, but you can smell like funnel cake smells different.
Yeah, I suppose it does. But I really like the smell of soups when they're cooking.
Yes.
Soups.
Yes, like and you can tell like immediately if it's going to be a good one.
You put all that stuff in the crock pot and then it takes a while, but then all of a sudden it's like there's a shift in the air and you can smell it and it's like, man, that smells amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like whenever you put something on like in a crock pot like before you leave for church.
Yeah.
And you haven't been able to smell it all day, but you know as soon as you walk in through the door, you're like, what am I doing right now? Like I feel like I could solve cancer. This stuff smells so good.
Yes.
Like it is so delicious. And I feel like you could tell like if it's going to be good or not too.
Yeah. Like, and it's funny because like we do that. I don't know. It's like 7 or 8 can like taco soup. It's like all those different canned stuff and the chicken and everything. And like my kids love that stuff even like to where they'll come in and they'll be like, what's that smell? It smells good. And yeah. But yeah, probably that.
What's your, did we pick a least favorite smell?
Oh.
Dude, nasty. Think nasty. Like something that just you don't want to do.
Well, I will tell you that when we were at the beach last year, we went down to Indian Rocks, which is close to Clearwater, and it was during red tide.
Oh, gosh.
And, like, so one day after it had stormed a little bit through the night, we went out there, and, like, instantly, as soon as you opened the door, I mean, you could smell it. We went out on the beach. We had to step over. It was probably, like, 8 feet worth that we had to, like, get through of dead fish that were on the beach.
Yeah.
Because we just went out to try to get some seashells. We were like, we can't get in the water today, but we could go walk the beach and get some seashells.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Like that smell. Once you got past the dead fish, then you got the ocean smell a little bit better and it wasn't so bad. But like that segment, I mean, we even when we went down to the pool that day, I mean, you could still smell like it was so bad.
And it feels like it like gets stuck in your nose.
It was awful. Like we couldn't open up the door or anything to the condo that day because I mean, it was awful.
Dude, just reminded me of something. I'm gonna.
And when I worked at Red Lobster and like, well, I didn't go to college for very long, but right around that time that I stopped going to college, like I worked at Red Lobster for quite a few years, and like, listen, I couldn't handle, like, the shoes stayed outside of my apartment. They did not come in my house because I'm telling you, all that that fishy, like that awful smell.
Your
I can't
feet?
do it.
Your feet smell like that fish?
Like the
fish that you were stepping on.
From,
I thought you were talking about like the inside of your
stuff
shoes.
Falling
and I'm like,
on the floor, and so like it's on the bottom of your shoes.
Like
your shoes
dude,
smell
it's
like
nasty.
it. And where I am short, and I had to wear like dress black pants, like they would get wet and nasty too. And so like sometimes I would have to take those off outside and run in because I could not or they'd go straight to the washer. I mean, like you could not. It's the worst. Couldn't do it.
Yeah. What I was about to say,
Sorry.
no, it's good. You're about to be you and Anthony are about to be superhero parents whenever y'all go to the beach. Because they have like anytime you go to any beach, they always have like the tourist shops. They always have like this random bucket of shells, right? But whenever you go to the beach, there ain't nothing ever any good, right? It's all broken. It's all smashed, little tiny pieces, whatever. Go to this shop. Get like $20 worth of these random shells, like the really good ones. And then you were walking with your kids, and then Anthony's kind of dropping a couple behind him. He's like, oh, you passed these up. And then they come back and they go, oh, look at the seashells.
So your goal is for me to lie to my
You're not lying to your
boss.
kids. I didn't say anything about lying. I just said, hey, come pick up this shell. That's not lying.
Yeah. It just takes out the fun. I don't care about the broken shells.
Dude, but it'd be it's going to be so awesome whenever your kids are like 30 years old.
Listen,
and they've been holding on to these seashells for so long, and you're like, hey, let me tell you a story about your dad real quick. Remember all those shells that you found whenever we were at the beach this year?
Listen, they haven't even asked to see their shells that we brought back from last year. I cleaned those things up because I had to wash them all because red tide and all. So I cleaned those things all up and put them in bottles. They're on my dresser and they don't even care.
Well, then reuse those. You don't even have to spend any money and they're already clean.
My luck, there'd be like another family right around the same time and they'd be getting all the good shells.
Nah, it's all good.
No, you can't have that shell. That's my kid's shell. We paid for those. So what's your favorite smell?
Oh, goodness. I think it just depends on like what it is. Like food wise, I think for me, I don't think it gets any better than like breakfast food. Cause you automatically know bacon, sausage, eggs, pancakes smell really good. I love that. Like some of the other stuff that I really enjoy eating, like seafood, like really good fresh seafood, doesn't smell. It smells like butter and garlic or whatever else you cook it in, which I like.
Yeah.
But so food wise, it would have to be breakfast. Shout out to Pastor Scott. He's like, yeah, my boy. But I think for like, I wear cologne on Sundays. And so I like, there's just one that I wear a lot of, and it's called ombre leather, and it smells like leather. I like the smell of leather.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And I'm not going to say that this is my favorite smell, but I am intrigued by it because I can't quite put my fingers on why people are like, oh my gosh, like what is happening right now? And they keep on smelling. And it's whenever you drive by a skunk. Oh. Right? People are like, oh, I can't believe that. Man, it smells like a skunk in here. Why can I not stop sniffing?
Yeah, no, I am like trying to cover my breath, like my nose, everything. I go by that. I can't handle it.
Yeah. I try to look at God's creation and everything is beautiful. And I'm trying to figure out why a skunk is where the beauty comes in.
Protection for them.
I know, but it still has to be beautiful, right?
Well, they are pretty animals. Like, they're kind of pretty animals.
You're talking so softly.
Sorry. I'm trying to convince myself before I talk loud enough for everybody else to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, skunks are kind of pretty. Like, I just keep going back to Bambi. What was the skunk's name on there? Wasn't there a skunk on there?
I don't know. I haven't watched. I'm waiting for Disney to do the live action reboot.
But there was a skunk too.
Yeah.
Oh, the live action for Bambi.
Yeah, they just released the trailer for a live action Pinocchio. Tom Hanks is playing Geppetto.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Worst smell, and if you're a parent, you'll fully understand this. It's not where I'm going. It's not what you think I'm going. It has something to do with where your mind automatically went to, but it's the stinking trash can. I could deal with dirty diapers, but it's the trash can whenever like it gets kind of full and then you open up the lid and try to tie it up together and you're like, what happened in here?
Yep. No, it's terrible.
You're like, there's only 2 in here and it smells like death.
That's why Anthony will ask me why I don't go ahead and take the trash bag out when it's full in the can. Like, a lot of times I'll get a new bag out, but I'll like attach it to the handle on the drawer and start putting new trash in there. And he's like, why don't you just take the old one out and set it up and then put the new one in? And I'm like, because I don't know what's all in that trash. And as soon as I take it out, it's going to stink up everything.
And I don't feel like throwing up right now, Anthony.
I'm like, and I don't know how long it's going to be till that goes out. So it's staying in that trash can until it's ready to go out because I don't want to stink up everything. Because there's just something like, oh my gosh, when you come home, there's certain times when you've like thrown away like chicken or something in the trash, but you haven't taken it out yet, and you come home after a long day and it's like, oh, that smell is terrible. Yeah, no.
We actually got rid of it got to the point that like on kid number 2, we got rid of that little trash, the little diaper trash can because, I mean, we generate us as a people generate a lot of trash already.
Right.
And so it was like, man, we're already taking out this bag at least once or twice a day. It doesn't matter if there's only like 2 or 3 diapers in there. Yeah. I had to get rid of that thing because it just stunk so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, still to this day, it makes me want to. Yeah. It makes me want to punch something. I brought our old
ones in there back in the nursery because. Well, because. Let's be honest. Sometimes, like, you don't want to smell that for the rest of your shift back in the nursery.
No.
So it does help to mask that in that time frame, but like,
yeah, and PD does a good job of taking out the trash around here. He usually empties it at least twice a week.
Yeah.
And so, but like on Sundays, like, it only sits in there for less than a day. Like, if you think about it, because he gets here like at the crack of dawn.
But there were times that like babies would make some pretty atrocious smells, and they're like, can you let me in Petey's closet to put this back in there? Because they did not want to leave it in the room because it would smell out the whole room. And so I put those little diaper trash cans in there so that way it helps mask the smell during service. So that way a parent doesn't like come to pick up their kid and all they smell is poo.
Well,
things to think about.
That's enough doo-doo talk for today. Yep. Hey, I'm genuinely praying for you and Anthony and your 3 kids. I hope you'll have the time of your life. Create some amazing memories. Rest, sleep in. God Almighty, take the opportunity to sleep in. I'd do that on a Sunday just because you can. Go to like a super late service. A kid
that wakes up at like between 5 and 6 every day.
Benadryl.
No, it doesn't help. I swear it has the opposite effect on that kid.
Whiskey. Something.
I will say the hatch light has helped.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's not supposed to get out till it's green.
Yep.
But he still does sometimes.
Well, yeah. I enjoyed this. Like I said, praying for you. Y'all are going to have an amazing time. Thank you for listening. Hey, what's your favorite smell? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening in with us today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and you can also watch the video version of this on YouTube as well. All you have to do is search up the Pastor's Potluck Podcast. From all of us here, we want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.